A big win for Chelsea tonight in the Champions League. They needed that. Liverpool lose again, back-to-back defeats. Galatasaray with their first home victory in the Champions League in 7 years. And Tottenham fight from 2-0 down to grab a draw. But in all honesty, they will feel fortuitous at that with how well Bodo Glimt played tonight. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Get yourself subscribing. We're here for the full fan highlight show live for the next 60, 90 plus minutes, however long it takes. The more comments, the more super chats, the more callers we get, the longer the show goes on. An epic night of Champions League football. It truly, truly was. And already a coupon buster this week with Liverpool unexpectedly losing. I got a shout out to Positive Dan, who called it absolutely right on Straight Facts earlier on today. But do me a favor, please, and hit that like button. Please make sure you are all subscribing to the show as well. Very, very important indeed that we get that. You get that done. You got to get it done right now, please, people. We're going to put your comments up on the screen soon as well. So much to go through, so much to talk about as well, with so many games going on at the same time. Big up to everyone that's joined us from That's Football as well. Very, very welcome here at the Football Terrace. Look forward to hearing your thoughts, your opinions on all the games tonight. I want to start with Chelsea, though, this evening. I want to start off with Chelsea because I feel that Chelsea have had a really bad couple of weeks, and I felt that Chelsea really needed a performance tonight, and they gave it. Chelsea have been poor in recent weeks. They haven't been resolute. When their back line or their midfield has been bypassed or penetrated, they have really struggled to cope with it. And although they did get a red card tonight, again, 3 games running, that's something to certainly be concerned about in terms of a lack of discipline. I thought they showed great resolve tonight, Chelsea. It was a very close game. Whether you are looking at it now on the stats going, oh, Benfica had 9 shots to their 8. Chelsea had more of the ball, but it was a close game. It was a close game, but I felt like Chelsea were the better team, personally speaking. I feel like Chelsea were the better team. I do feel they just edged deserving the victory tonight. The one thing I'd be concerned about if I was a Chelsea fan is still the fact that down those flanks, it was quite easy for Benfica to penetrate and pass through. They're able to move the ball through the midfield far too easily. That's an area that Maresca and this team have got to work on. Because look, Benfica are a good team. They're a good team. They're not a great team. They're not a fantastic team. They're not one of the best teams in the world. And Chelsea have got to go up a level. That being said, I felt tonight was so important. Such an important... I know they beat Lincoln. But you know and I know that result against Lincoln isn't going to inject confidence into these players. It just isn't. You know it and I know it. A result like tonight will. And I feel that Chelsea, you saw it at times tonight, they did look a little vulnerable. There was times tonight where they looked a little nervous. There were times tonight where they looked as though the pressure might get a little bit too much for them. That's because of the Brighton, Man United results, the Brentford results. It's because of those games. But what Bayern Munich did to them is there. It's in the back of their minds. They are still a young squad. But I thought overall they deserved it just about. I thought they showed great strength of mind. And there was some excellent football tonight as well at times from Chelsea. Pedro Neto was absolutely sensational. Absolutely tip-top performance. And he'll be licking his lips at the prospect of going up against Liverpool. Especially with the way they're playing at the moment, the last couple of games, the space they're leaving down their left-hand side when Kirkes goes forward, if they lose the ball, it's isolating Van Dijk a lot. And Pedro Neto, I know he played 90 minutes, but he will be rubbing his hands together at the prospect of going up against them. So as I say, I feel that Chelsea deserved it, but there are many more levels this team can go up. Many more levels. And it's about killing games off for Chelsea as well. I would say it's another thing I'd be disappointed in if I was a Chelsea fan tonight is why couldn't we kill the game off? Why couldn't we put it to bed? Why couldn't we get that second goal, give ourselves a little bit of comfort, relax going into the final 10 minutes of the game, and you saw it. I don't know how much of the Chelsea game you were all watching, but there was, in that last 5-6 minutes of injury time, Sanchez rushing the ball out from the back, Chelsea trying to move the ball forward too quickly when it didn't need to. And that is nerves. That is nerves that comes off the back of these last 3 to 4 games. But a big win for Chelsea. That will give them an injection of confidence going into this game against Liverpool, which I think they've got a chance of winning. My mind has changed. I think they've got a chance of winning. One, the last 2 matches, Liverpool haven't looked good enough. Tonight, I'll be honest with you, Liverpool looked a shadow of what we've seen under Arne Slot so far. An absolute shadow. They did. And we'll get into that a little later. So I think Chelsea will be rubbing their hands together at this. I thought Caicedo was immense tonight. I loved his performance. I really, really did. I want to shout out Sanchez in goal because he made some massive saves in the early stages of the games. I thought he was very, very good indeed and deserves a lot of credit. There's a comment here that says, Terry, did you think we improved after the goal? Yes, I did. I think that the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, Benfica were countering very, very well. 1-2 passes through your midfield, down those flanks, looking dangerous. When you scored around the 18th minute, and by the way, what a great goal. I know it's an own goal. By the way, I want to speak on Richard Rios in a minute. I know it was an own goal, but it's one of those own goals that you thoroughly deserved. Neto, as I mentioned, brilliant. He crosses the ball to Garnacho. Now, Garnacho sometimes has a habit of staying too close to his own touchline, his own wing. When the ball's on the other side, he needs to come in a little bit closer. The fact that he idolizes Cristiano Ronaldo frustrates me when he does this, because Ronaldo, can people talk about innovations? What Fergie and Ronaldo did, by the way, they made Ronaldo start to come in on that back post. Wingers were never doing that. It was invented by Man United, invented by Cristiano Ronaldo. And the fact that Garnacho idolizes that player, I can't believe he doesn't do it more, but he did for the goal. He comes in a bit closer. The ball is perfectly weighted, perfectly delivered. First time cross from Garnacho. And it's probably one of my biggest bugbears of Garnacho at Manchester United was the amount of times he took a touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, just put it across that 6-yard box first time. It causes problems. I actually think not enough modern day football players cross the ball across the 6-yard box enough. They seem to want to take too many touches, cut back. Just it sounds a little bit passion, a little bit too English for some ears, but sometimes just hit the ball across the 6-yard box. Somebody should be there to tap it in. If they're not, it's on them, not you. And it might hit a defender and go in. And it hit, not a defender, but it hit Richard Rios, who I want to mention, but I thought he played okay today. But you know, I thought it was really funny. I remember this is I wonder if all the hipsters that like to pretend to know everything about football will speak about him tonight. I thought he was good. But the way people were like clambering after him this summer, I was expecting to see Paul Scholes out there tonight. I was expecting to see Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard or Michael Ballack. Good player. Nowhere near the level that people were talking about. In my personal opinion, sloppy on the ball, some really bad touches, a little bit erratic at times, but that's just me. And I was excited to watch him play, by the way. I just thought, it improved Man United's midfield. But that's not hard. But overall, listen, well done to Chelsea tonight. I think you, as I mentioned, thoroughly deserved your win. Thoroughly deserved it in the end. And you should feel proud of yourselves. It's just now about growing from that next point to that next level. Listen, people, we are going to go to your super chats. We're going to go to your comments that have been coming in. Don't you worry about that. A few people are asking. I want to break down Liverpool for a moment, though. And I want to go into Liverpool now. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, but I want to speak about Liverpool because it wasn't good enough. And as much as Liverpool fans won't want to hear this from a United fan, I'm going to keep it 100. It was nowhere near good enough. Now, I understand, first off the bat, I understand rotation is needed. I understand you can't play all your best players in every single game. But when you have 2 right backs available and fit, when you start arguably your best offensive midfield player of the season in Szoboszlai at right back, you're already at a disadvantage. Already. I get there's going to be games where you've got to rest Salah at his age, with the fact you might play nearly 70 games this season. It makes absolute sense that you would do the Frimpong move. Cool. I get it. Isak not starting, I also understand. Maybe Viet started today because he's not going to start the game against Chelsea. So maybe that is the rotation element. But I couldn't understand Szoboszlai. I just didn't get that. Now, for me, is there something in this? Is there something in this which says Arne Slot doesn't trust Bradley and doesn't trust Frimpong in the right back position? That's more of a question than a statement. I'd love to get your answers on that. I'd love to understand it because I just don't get it. I think Conor Bradley's excellent. I think Conor Bradley is defensively very sound for his age. He's got to learn. Trent was being used at a similar age in big games, and it was the making of him. And I think Bradley, at the age he is now, is a better defender than Trent is. Frimpong, yes, we know he isn't the best defensively. He's more of an offensive fullback, but I just didn't get that decision. And look, a lot was said about Liverpool in the opening 6 or so games of the season, 6-7 games across all comps, about them being overrated and them being lucky. And I didn't buy into any of it. And I'm not rewriting history now. I'm not going to do that. That's what all the bang average media outlets are going to do. All the journalists and the hosts who, if they weren't working for the big companies, nobody would care who they are. Nobody would tune in to watch them. They're nobodies. They're using Liverpool's name to grow themselves. But as I've said, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it honest here with you, because I think you guys that tune into my shows deserve that wholeheartedly. And I think your manager's got to look at this system. Now, it's not a massive change from last year. It isn't. You've got a back four still. You're playing with wide players and a striker. It's the midfield. The midfield is causing you issues because Wirtz, and I'm not blaming him personally. I don't think it's necessarily his fault. He is still coming to terms with playing for Liverpool and the pressures. Listen, no disrespect to Bayer Leverkusen. Playing for Liverpool Football Club comes with a different level of expectation and pressure. I know he plays for Germany as well, and there's pressure there, but at club level, this is everything. You could argue there's more eyes on club football than international football sometimes. Genuinely. I'd love to see the stats on the average German game viewership around the world versus the average game Liverpool player. I bet Liverpool get more eyes on their games. Thus more pressure. And he isn't doing enough yet. He isn't doing enough. And because they're not playing with a midfield three, which for years, even under Slot, same as Klopp, you'd have two of them would come in and cover for fullbacks that marauding forward. Those spaces on the pitch that the fullbacks vacate when they push forward. Tonight, Galatasaray had a plan. They waited for you to move the ball into areas they pressed you. And if they won the ball back, or if you bypass their midfield and they won it back in defense, there were these massive holes because your midfielders are more narrow. Wirtz is pushing forward and your fullbacks are bombing on. So there's this space. And Van Dijk's excellent, but he's still isolated a lot. And in the opening 2 minutes of the game, this was exploited. Szoboszlai gets caught out because he's pushed too far forward. Alisson again saving Liverpool. Could have been 1-0 in the first couple of minutes. Now, look, you had a massive chance to go 1-0 up. That could have changed the game. And I feel that the lack of clinical edge tonight from Liverpool also needs criticism. Because you know me, you've heard me say this about Man United. I'm going to keep it 100% when I'm speaking about Liverpool as well. The system that you're currently using is causing some problems. In the last couple of games, it's been exposed, in my opinion, and now more teams are going to jump on this, and there needs to be an adaptation. That being said, you can't blame Arne Slot for Hugo Ekitike being clean through on goal and missing. Gakpo having the chance to control it and shoot, but he decides to do a Michael Venom Page knee. What's he trying to knee the ball in from the edge of the box, Gakpo? Who do you think you are? Kimbo Slice? What are you doing? But they had this shot, and from that, though, they go down the other end and concede a penalty. Now, I think the penalty's soft. I think it's soft as shite. I can't lie to you, but this is the Champions League, and you get soft penalties. Gives the penalty, well taken by HUsam. But then I kept on seeing it. Kerkez was pushing very high. as well as Slobosai, and the space in behind that was being exploited. They were a threat again and again and again. There was almost a goal from a chip from Victor Osimhen that, again, if Alisson didn't have the whereabouts and the intelligence that he does, it would have been, without a shadow of a doubt, 2-0 before half-time. And you kept on seeing it again and again, this trap by Galatasaray. They either hunted you down on the press or they sat in and waited for you to give the ball away on the edge of the box, because they now know, and this is what Chelsea, if Maresca has got a brain and Liverpool play this same way, there's a flaw that's been found here. They've got one less midfielder, essentially, because Wirtz is so high most of the time. The fullbacks are still pushing forward. And I'm going to go back in time here, because you obviously replaced them and continue to do it. But I used to get so annoyed watching Liverpool when you had Robertson and Trent bombing forward, and you think, right, there must be space to exploit, and you put the ball into that area, and there was Jordan Henderson and there was Gini Wijnaldum covering that space. But that didn't mean there wasn't a hole in the middle so much, because you still had Fabinho that occupied that entire channel. And at times you'd have your fullbacks invert as well. So it just worked. And an adaptation is needed from Arne Slot. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. I also think tonight, again, this is where I don't blame the system, because I don't think the shape, and when I say system, I'm talking the shape that you're in and the formation that you're in. I don't think that negates the amount of times Konate, the amount of times Gravenberch, who, by the way, Gravenberch's been amazing, and I think he's got a lot of credit in the bank, but we can't avoid this conversation. The amount of times they gave the ball away unnecessarily tonight. If Galatasaray had a more clinical edge, it could have been a bigger scoreline. And barring, and I'm going to forget this here, so please educate me in the comment section below. Barring the backheel chance from Hugo Ekitike, and I think Isak did run through on goal, it wouldn't create anything. Correct decision to not give a penalty as well. I actually can't believe they gave it. You saw the way the ball flied. There's almost no, if you watch Konate's leg go up, it kind of goes up. His leg goes up. There's no way the ball can go backwards that way at that trajectory unless the defender's got a toe on it. I couldn't believe it was given, to be fair. That's when VAR does its job very, very well. But I felt that once that penalty was taken away, I couldn't see Liverpool getting back into the game. It gave the Galatasaray crowd a new impetus, a new togetherness. The noise was ferocious. Now, look, this isn't about writing Liverpool off. Again, this is where Liverpool fans and their club have got to be strong. Criticize what's going on the pitch. Criticize some individual players. I think you need to criticize some elements of this system. Now, maybe it's going to click. Maybe I am wrong, and you keep playing this way, and over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 games, it's going to click into gear. And I know a lot of money has been spent on Wirtz, and that is why you're playing this way. I get it. But it doesn't shock me that the best I've seen you play this season was when he wasn't in the team. And I'm not doing that basic bitch analysis of Wirtz is the problem, Wirtz is hurt. That's the Man United. That's for Man United fans. That is for a sector of a percentage of Man United fans that I have to deal with, that always find one singular thing. Remove that problem and we're fixed. You have to find a space for Wirtz in the team. You can't invest 100+ million and not. Is it time for the adaptation now? Is it more about fitting him into your system and developing him to play more of an attacking 8 role where he can still be very central, as opposed to putting him in the 10 and vacating all that space in the middle? I'm not making the statement on this. I'm leaving this down to you, the community on my channel. Whether you're a Liverpool fan or not, I want to hear from you on this. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel. But this is where Liverpool fans have got to be strong, because the media are coming. Rivals are coming. You know that scene from the Battle of the Bastards where Jon Snow's holding the sword? That's what you're going to go through in the next few days. And I think you need to stay together on this. Just my personal opinion. Just my personal view. Feel how you want. Do what you want. It is your football club. There's some big conversations ahead. That all being said, it's only the 5th time in sorts of 14 months that Liverpool have failed to score a goal in a game, right? We're not talking about a team that is losing every week. We're not talking about a team. It's only the second time you've ever lost back-to-back games under Slot. So I wouldn't call this a pandemic. I wouldn't say this is the end of the world. I wouldn't say, oh my God, Liverpool have been completely and utterly found out. I just think there are teething problems with this, with the adaptation to the way they're playing. And I think a decision's got to be made. Do you stick with it until it works, but risk falling behind in the league and losing a few more Champions League games because it's plausible? Or do you revert back to what made you the best team in England and one of the best teams in Europe last year and adapt at a slower rate? Adapt to the new players at a slower rate. Let me know. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions in the comments section below, please, people. Make sure you're liking and subscribing as well. Now, I want to go to your super chats before I bring my panel out on the show today. Let me just timestamp when we're doing the super chats as well. Let me jump into these and put these up on the screen. Thank you all so much for your donations. It's always, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm always honored and humbled by it. Thank you. Liverpool remind me of Arsenal in 23-24 season. Lost lots of last-minute goals and no depth to cover injuries. Note how Arsenal didn't win that year. I don't think it's about no depth. You're bringing on from the bench Bradley, Salah, Isak. Did you see the goalkeeping subs they made? There is depth there. Good quality players there. Slot out, no need to wait till the end of the season, is what Liverpool Vision says. Look, listen, I think you are exceedingly premature. I think you lost to a penalty tonight in a hostile environment in a Champions League game. Talking about sacking a manager after that, I think is sacrilegious. Sacrilegious to want to sack him right now, in my opinion. For all the offensive talent Liverpool have, felt strangely lackluster, and there was a lack of penetration. Apart from a chance Ekitike had in the first half, Galatasaray seemed comfortable. Yet they did think they grew comfortable. I didn't think they started comfortable. There was also another really good bit of play where the ball was worked out to Frimpong, and Wirtz was free in the middle. Frimpong's got across that first time, but he takes a touch. It was just bad decision making. I don't blame managers for that. I blame players. Always have, always will. Frimpong should be hitting that across first time. Then it finds Wirtz. Wirtz probably taps it in, but instead he takes a touch. And I want to say it was Sanchez, but it was a covering centre back who then makes up an extra yard and cuts the cross out. So, but what happened is the longer that game went on, the more disillusioned I think Liverpool became. And the longer it went on, the longer it felt they were not going to score. It had that kind of feel about it. It's also very hard. Playing away in Turkey is very, very hostile, and the crowd played their part tonight. It is not Wirtz anymore. It's Havertz. Support your local, Terry, you plastic. I mean, you're pretending to be a superhero, mate. Gets Konate. I'll do you a deal. You come on camera, show us your face and your real name, and I'll change teams I support. Both are not going to happen, aren't they? Get Konate out. Wirtz plays in slow motion. I will say that Konate has looked woeful all season. And if it hadn't been in some games for his speed, he would have been exploited a few more times. This actually Edwards makes very few mistakes. Hughes makes very few mistakes. But I think Liverpool should have cashed in on him in the summer. Just a gut feeling I've got right now. With everything looming, with everything going on, the indecision, it's being so public. Maybe you guys should have moved him on a little earlier. Staying scoreless is the real concern here for Liverpool. Look, it's only the first game of the season they've been goalless. Only the fifth time in, the last 60, 70 games they've gone goalless. I wouldn't say that's a massive concern, personally, because they did have chances tonight. Should they have created more? You would argue yes. I think the issue is more the holes in the new system that can be exploited, And you know what happened? This is where you're going to see how Arne Slott's already a brilliant manager. He's a brilliant manager. He's a fantastic manager. He's won a Premier League. This is where you see the difference between the very good, the top managers, and the potentially great ones, and the great ones, is the adaptation. It isn't about throwing all your philosophy and all your footballing principles and your discipline principles out the window. It's about saying, oh, slight hole there. What can we adjust slightly to make this work? This is going to be the interesting thing to watch as an outsider. Chelsea are still struggling, but we don't want to say that because of the fans. Liverpool as well are not where they are meant to be. I think that's fair about Chelsea. Now we see that Chelsea aren't what it's meant to be, and Liverpool aren't what they are meant to be. Liverpool aren't purring on all cylinders right now, but I'm not writing them off getting there. Not me personally. We should have put 4 past Spurs. Well played. Listen, Bodo Glimt tonight. I only had that game on. I wasn't watching that game. It's so hard to watch 3 matches. I had the Chelsea and the Liverpool game on. Bodo Glimt were amazing. They'll feel so gutted they didn't win, but they were very, very good. Palmer with 1 leg is better than Wirtz on evidence so far. Yes. Grey Wolf Dinner says, great professional performance from Chelsea. Liverpool have been poor overall since February. Reminds me of Mourinho's second spell. I'd be concerned. We'll be asking the team that when they come on and when they have their when they come on to have their say. After the Arsenal fans, oh sorry, this is from yesterday. That's from yesterday. That isn't from tonight. That's about PGMOL. Do you think Wirtz could be the new Kai Havertz? Look, there's always a possibility that a player doesn't work out. There's always a possibility that a player doesn't reach the levels that they're expected to. I'm not making that claim yet. It's far too early. It's far too premature. He hasn't looked good, though. That's fair. We start games with 9 men. The ghost of Wirtz and Konate. Add the slot masterclass, and you get this atrocious performance. Stop treating Wirtz like Sobo. What do you mean by what you mean in that position? What do you mean by treating? I'd love you to explain that. Does João Pedro miss the Liverpool? No, he misses the next Champions League game, bro. So he won't miss the. He'll miss the Ajax game. I think he played Ajax at home. So itch. Oh yeah, or is it somebody else? Somebody else. Sorry, long day. No, he doesn't miss the Liverpool game. Doesn't miss the Liverpool game. This is from African Giant. It says, I don't see how Wirtz fits this system. Liverpool doesn't play with a 10 and he's a 10. Is he supposed to be the third midfielder? Well, this is the thing. Liverpool are playing with a 10. They're starting the game in a 10. They're playing 4-2-3-1. They're not playing 4-3-3. And there is a slight difference in those shapes. When you're in attack, not so much. Man United used to. If you actually look at the heat maps of Bruno Fernandes when we used to play 4-2-3-1, and you look at sorts of KDBs and Odegaards when they played in 4-3-3s, the heat maps were almost identical where they touched the ball, where they played the ball, where they were crossing the ball from. So I don't personally see it as too much of a difference. The issue that you would have is that Wirtz would have to, in the way Liverpool, it may not even be about changing the midfield. It might be about the fullbacks not pushing so far up. So, because the problem that you've got, if you make it a 3 midfield and the fullback still bomb forward, that means you need the guys that play in the 8s on both sides to often cover those areas at the back. You don't want Wirtz back there. That's stupid. It might be a case of staying with this midfield, but maybe you're 1 up, one down, or maybe your fullbacks don't push forward as far. But then you've got that means, though, that Salah is going to have to stay wider and not come in where he wants to score goals. And you go back a couple of seasons when Darwin came in, you saw, listen, he still got a great output of GA, but you saw a lot less from Salah because he had to play more creator. So there are some big decisions that need to be made here. Some very, very big decisions that need to be made. Huge decisions. Was it actually a red card, or should it have been a yellow for simulation? Listen, I think some Chelsea fans will say João Pedro's second yellow was harsh, but the rules in UEFA have been, it was the high, I think because it's a high boot, it doesn't matter if you make contact. I get what you mean by the guy acted like there was contact, but you get yellows for that regardless. And we have to remember it's a very different standard. Penalties are easier to get. They don't allow. I mean, there's almost no physicality allowed in the midfield. The amount of tackles I saw tonight in all the games I was watching that were pretty good, there was a little contact. And in the Prem, let's just play on. Champions League, fouls given. And that's one of the components as to why European football is so different. And sometimes if you're a team that does well in the Prem because you're really physical, you need to tone that down in the Champions League because you're going to just give away more fouls. A lot of English strikers on international level used to get caught out by that. A lot of them. Peter Crouch was an example. Very physical in terms of the way he used to battle because of his height. He used to dominate people. The amount of fouls given against him in an England shirt compared to the Prem, because the rules, especially when it was UEFA, the rules are just different. And I think it's really, really important for fans to sort of understand that in many ways. African Giant here says, I see what you mean. Might take some time. He's a gem. No, I agree. And listen, I understand why Liverpool fans are frustrated with him. I get it. At the end of the day, you're trying something different. And so far it hasn't. Well, that hasn't worked. I mean, you are top of the Premier League. Let's not forget that, right? You're not sitting 8th in the league. You won your first Champions League game and you were very good in it. You just conceded a goal that shouldn't have stood and a deflected shot, and then you came back and won it, but you actually were quite comfortable for large parts. So, yeah, I think too much might be made out of it. Winning away in the Champions League is hard. Never underestimate it. Amelia, spot on. And this is why when I see teams, I've seen Arsenal fans in the last few years who had years out of the competition, they'll win 2-0 away in a fairly difficult place, and it's like, oh, I wanted more. And I just think maybe FIFA's to blame. Maybe it's FIFA and computer games that makes a lot of those matches feel easier. Away European nights are tough. They always have been. You know, sometimes you get one of these away European nights and a team kind of wins. You might score 4 or 5 goals and you think, wow. Yeah, that is a massive wow because it's so bloody rare. It's ridiculous. So rare. Doesn't happen a lot. Bear me one sec, people. Okay. Sorry. Okay, cool. I'll just check something from him now. Cool. Makes sense. Cool. Let's go to some more of your comments that have come through here before I bring the panel out to have their say. Bear with me, people. Sorry, I've just got to send a quick message. Fair. This super chat just come in here as well. This is from African Giant, who says, but speaking on our game, both our left wingers seem to lack confidence. Scraped a 1-0 win. I'm slightly concerned that there's no continuation from our attack season after season. Hard to gel new players in a tough league. Yeah, look, I think this just also happens sometimes, but I think people are panicking a little bit too much, if I'm being absolutely honest. I understand the frustration. I understand the concern, but I do think there is a little bit too much panic at this particular moment, in my opinion. But this is a show where we talk about this particular game. So in terms of this particular game, I understand the frustrations. Benny here says, but if you are going for the ball and the defender comes at you, which was the situation with that sending off. It was a high boot, though. It's because the boot was high. You can't put the boot that high. That's why the sending off happened, because the boot was high. And it was a second yellow. And I've seen yellows given like that before in the Champions League. It's just that I get you. It's frustrating. I get you. But there we go. Right, it's time to bring the panel out and have their say. We've got Hussam and Tom. We've got Ram. We've got Winter Surfer. We've got a Chelsea fan tonight, which is nice. We've got Rak on the show with us as well. Make sure you hit that like button, please. Show your love for the guys when we bring them out. Now, let me just get my earphones as well, actually. And I've got to... Oh, yeah, definitely got to turn those down. It's far too loud. I listened to Michael Bublé very loud earlier, and it's in my ears. Let me bring the guys out now. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Congratulations, Winter Surfer, on your win tonight. Commiseration to the Liverpool supporters. Tom, talk to me. What went wrong for you guys tonight away in Turkey?
Any big decision that needed to be made today was made incorrectly. I don't want to see Frimpong right wing ever again. Fuck me, that was a painful 45 minutes because the amount of decent opportunities that never got created because he can't put a cross in or can't beat his man despite the fact he's rapid, that's a problem. We had about 2 good players on the night, one of which, again, as it has been all season, is Virgil van Dijk, and the other one was Curtis Jones. And Curtis Jones was doing well for us at picking the ball up off the centre-backs and getting it through the lines, which is something no one else in our team, outside of Van Dijk, has the ability to do. So, when we're chasing the game with 30 minutes to go, why is Curtis Jones being told to play as the 10? Why is Curtis Jones being moved as far away from the defensive line as possible? So what do we do for the last 30 minutes? Struggle to get the ball forwards because no one can play the ball forwards. Why is Konate still playing? Why is Konate still playing? Why? He's clearly not here. He is a liability on the ball this season. Teams are not pressing him, and they don't need to press him, so they'll just give it a fucking way anyway. Alisson got injured today because he can't pass a football. The press from Galatasaray was non-existent because they know his passing isn't going to threaten them. He's not going to play through the lines. He's not going to play over the top. Crap. And the way he has managed Florian Wirtz today especially, but in the last however many games, is just mind-blowing. The chances that we created today, every single one of them came from Florian Wirtz creating in the middle. So in the last 30 minutes, when Ekitike has to go off injured, you know what you've got on the bench? You've got a left winger. You've got Rio Ngamoe. You've got someone who's a very good young left winger who can do a job there. What do? Take Florian Wirtz out of the 10, the one position where he's able to create stuff. Put him out on the left where he's got nothing to do because you don't pass him the ball. And sit there and go, fucking now, what happened to our creativity? For once, stick Isak and Wirtz as your 9 and your 10, and you'll see it work. Isak had 4 touches today. He came off the bench in the 60th minute and had 4 touches in about 35 minutes of gameplay. And that, out of them 4 touches, 2 of them came from a pass which Wirtz played. He got nothing creative for him otherwise. That team cannot progress the ball forwards. That team lacks creativity. And that team has looked utterly abhorrent the last 2 games. Whatever tactics you're playing, you might need to bring it back. I said it on the show yesterday, Teddy. He's got 2 options. He might need to bring it back and start again with what it was last season. You might have to do that. Certain players might just have to sit out whilst we steady the ship because this cannot continue. The fact that I had to sit there and watch us play in that game, we are chasing a goal and we are spending 45 seconds passing from left back to centre back to centre back to right back, getting nowhere up the pitch. We couldn't handle a 35-year-old İlkay Gundogan's press. İlkay Gundogan's press put us under pressure today. We couldn't play out of it. We are crap at the minute. And the results, now they're not there. Now they're not there to mask the problems. Now they're not there. Something has to change. Either he has to go back to that 4-3-3 that we played last year, and people are just going to have to sit out, and we're going to have to steady the ship that way. Or he's going to have to play Wirtz as a 10, tell Wirtz to stop playing like a fucking DM when we have the ball, because he has to drop into our half, in between our 2 DMs to get on the ball because we can't progress the ball. He has to stick him and tell him to stay as a 10 and fix the rest of the team around that. Last year, we didn't have these mind-blowing tactics. Last year, we just built a system that played to players' strengths. Right now, we're building a system that plays to every single player's weakness. What can Milos Kerkez not do? Play on the inside. He's very left-footed. He can't play on the inside. So what do? Make him sit there as a 10 on the ball and then wonder why he can't handle getting pressed and goes backwards all the time. What can Florian Wirtz not do? Well, he's not really effective if you've got him in midfield. Battles as a DM. Right, okay. Let's have no progression and make sure Florian Wirtz is sitting as a DM the whole time. It makes zero sense. I'm lost on what we're doing as a football team at the minute. Like I said, every big tactical decision he got wrong today. So he needs to stop. He needs to fix his ideas up. Otherwise, we are going to piss it away. We are going to piss it away. Everything.
I hear your frustration there. Sam, do you echo this? I mean, a lot of people in the comment section tonight going in on Wirtz, 008, and another poor game from him, but the system being ripped into. Do you agree with Tom? Do you think big changes are needed right now? Are you worried about the trajectory of your team right now?
People going on about Wirtz are just stupid, and it's just agenda filled. There is nothing to blame Florian Wirtz for. Listen, today we lost to a bunch of washed up rejects. Davinson Sanchez, Spurs reject. Gundogan is as old as my dad. You get me? He was playing today in the team. We lost to Lucas Torreira. Remember Lucas Blood Clot Torreira, troops 10 years ago. 10 years ago, he was comparing him to Kante. Kante retired in Saudi. That's who we lost to today. Today, it's just 100% proof that it has nothing to do with one individual. It is completely structural and systematic. Dua Lipa lied. It wasn't one kiss is all it takes. One pass is all it takes to create a chance against us. That's all it takes. One pass. One pass. Their goalkeeper today, Shakira, just one pass in behind. Osimhen layoff, boom, they're through on net. Meanwhile, we have to create a chance like 1974 Barcelona, 1974 Brazil, sorry, or like Maradona. We have to do like some crazy shit. Wirtz created the most dangerous chance of the game, which is the cross to Bradley, which is he pussied out of the header like a little pussy, just trying to head it with his shoulder because he's scared. Oh, the ball might hit you in the face, Connor, man up, pussy. And after that as well, we got the Isak, £120 million signing, who we create nothing for. Great. That's a fantastic idea. We're not even creating the chances that Nunes missed for Isak. Like, that's all I want. All I want is just for us to create the chances that Nunes missed. I just want us to create for Isak. We're not even doing that. This is a systematic structural issue. Something got to give here. People blamed Salah. He got dropped today. Guess what? We still look like ass. People blamed Karkas. He got dropped. We look like ass. People blamed whoever the fuck you want to blame. They all got dropped. McAllister can't play with Wirtz. McAllister got dropped. We still look like shit. So that's the thing that people... We have a structural issue. There is this much space in midfield. This much. All it takes is just one pass. One pass. All it takes. All it took was just one goal kick, one Osimhen layoff. All of a sudden, they're through on goal. All of a sudden, they're in the penalty box. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's like, because they're a bunch of washed up rejects that no one knows, they don't have the quality to do it. That's why Crystal Palace did it, because at least they have players with quality. Had Mateta played up top today for Galatasaray, by the way, this would have been like easily 3-0, 4-0, like, because he bullied Konate. He could have been on the pitch today bullying again Konate. So it's a disgraceful performance. The way that we played is just absolutely shit. And this today's game specifically, after dropping Mo, proves to all the Liverpool fans with a brain cell who are not scapegoating, is the fact that it's not Wirtz's fault and it's not Salah's fault. It's not an individual's fault. It's the structure. It's the style. Slot has Wagyu beef. He has all the prime ingredients. You need to be able to turn that prime ingredients into a gourmet meal. What we cannot do, objectively what we cannot do, is now play this way away at Chelsea. If we play this way away at Stamford Bridge, we're getting slapped by Chelsea. So we have to fix up, and we have to fix up quickly. And we have to fix up the way that we play football. Someone needs to get dropped. Something needs to change. And it's on Slot to figure it out. What he needs to figure it out, I don't give a shit. He's the one that gets paid. He's the Liverpool manager, so he needs to find the solution for us to play better. Today is not on Wirtz. It's not on any individual. It's on the system and on the structure that puts us in a position where we can't create chances. As a matter of fact, you probably heard a lot of Mo criticism. When he came on, immediate spark, immediately better in the final third. So once again, I don't want to focus on individuals. Alisson injury is bad news. Ekitike injury is bad news. But good, we have depth in both positions. So that's something that I trust Mamardashvili and I trust Isak, of course. So I hope that this Saturday we put the team in a position where we're actually capable of winning. And Wirtz should never play left wing ever again. I don't want to put the fries completely in the bag on that one. Just play Wirtz in the 10. And if you want to sub off Gakpo, just bring on Rio. Just bring on natural left winger to play left wing. That's it. So it's very easy to scapegoat Wirtz, very easy to scapegoat Salah, scapegoat Ekitike even for missing the chance. But the problem is structural and systematic. By the way, It's not even about the result today. If we lost to Galatasaray 1-0, but we peppered their net and, we hit the post 2 times, blah, blah, blah, we'd all come here and go like, okay, at least the performance looks up. It's okay. People lose games in the group stage all the time. Who gives a shit? It's the group stage games. Like, of course, you want to win every game, but you can handle a loss in the group stage where you play really well. But I can't handle a loss in the group stage against a shit washed up team with when we don't play well either. That's the biggest issue today.
I hear you. I get what you're saying about it being systematic and everything else. Are there players though tonight that weren't near the level they forget, regardless of the system? And I've discussed that as well. Although I've got some really weird fanboy of mine calling me out for saying that winning away from home isn't hard. It's hard in the Champions League. Although Galatasaray haven't won a home game in 7 years, that doesn't mean all those defeats or all those draws they had were easy for the away team. Away games are still hard, even though their record isn't good. But the fact that some of my fanboys are leaving out all the criticism I gave to Liverpool, the system, individual players and slot, it's kind of weird. You just focus on that. But I suppose that's what happens when you're obsessed and you love me. These things happen. But are any individual players not cutting it right now for you, aside from the system, HUsam?
The only one individual that sticks out like a sore thumb right now is Konate. If I'm Florentino Perez, I call Konate, I tell him sign the contract. I don't want to sign you anymore. That guy, the way that he's played, the only Real Madrid he'll start for is Real Madrid B in the 3rd division of Spanish football.
I hear you there. Ram, what you saying, bro? What was wrong tonight? And are you worried about this continuing?
Well, everything was wrong tonight. I think it was worse than what it was at Crystal Palace. At Crystal Palace, you could argue, was the tactics. But it's also today a waste of 90 minutes because not only the tactics were poor, the actual players were poor. The actual players couldn't pass a football or pass it in 5-yard spaces. It is actually crazy. And I saw in a lot of comments people talking about Wirtz. Well, if you look at the first half, when he was actually playing as a number 10, a lot of the chances that we made were either started by him or he actually created himself. But the only issue is when Arne Slot is in a bit of trouble, he goes on and does a bunch of stupidness. Like, why the hell are you bringing on Conor Bradley for Jeremy Frimpong when we know Jeremy Frimpong's a wing-back / fullback? And why don't you ask Szoboszlai to go a little bit further forward? It makes zero sense. And throughout the entire game, it seems as though he was trying to rectify the mistakes that he made from the start, from the very, very start. I thought today when I saw Frimpong and Szoboszlai, I was like, this could be interesting. This could be a change in system, a change in formation. Szoboszlai might be playing a little bit higher up, maybe as a right winger, like an old-fashioned wing system. But no. In terms of using Szoboszlai, we decided to play him as a fullback yet again. Like, there's no ingenuity, there's no risk taking. It's just the same old bull crap. And the fact that he's trying to move people around to try and make things work when it's clearly not working, it hasn't worked in the last couple of games, is quite frankly ridiculous. And the fact that he's putting Florian Wirtz on when we've got a left winger in Rio who's done pretty well when he's come on is really annoying. I couldn't care less. It's Galatasaray. We were all dog shit. Every single player on that pitch was dog shit. I guarantee you what Rio would have done in 5 minutes would be better than what any of those players would have done in the whole 90 minutes that they played. It is ridiculous. And if you're asking me about Chelsea, I am worried about this game. I am begging for the international break to come as soon as possible because these players need a reset. These players need to just get onto the training pitch and Slot needs to get into the tactician's room and just sort out what he's doing, because right now we're playing 50-50 football. We're trying to be a little bit like PSG, but we're also trying to be a little bit like what we did last season. None of it's working. None of it's actually working. We got to find what we want to do, think about it and make it work, because right now these performances are not good enough, and it's costing us valuable games.
You keep saying play like PSG, Ram. I'm so sorry. Like, if Slot actually wants to like us replicate PSG, then he made all the wrong signings then. Because Gakpo cannot play PSG ball, okay? Szoboszlai can't play PSG ball. Szoboszlai would be the ball boy at PSG. Gakpo wouldn't even make the bench at PSG.
No, but Hussam, the
Like
way that
literally,
we're playing,
Kang Lee-in has more technical ability than Gakpo. So we're
but
not going to
Hussam, the way that we're playing, trying to play.
PSG ball. We can't. Slot needs to find his own way. It doesn't work.
Unfortunately,
it doesn't work.
what Slot's doing is literally what PSG do, except we don't have the players to do that.
We don't.
That's the issue, and Slot needs to figure this out as soon as possible, because right now we are playing like absolute dog crap. Like, we're relying on last minute equalizers from Federico Chiesa, the fringe players, to bail us out. That's how bad this is. And on Chelsea game, I'm not looking forward to the Chelsea game. Us playing like that in the midfield with the likes of Enzo, Caicedo, and potentially Lavia, it's just going to be long days. It's going to be a long, long day. We need to fix up as soon as possible, man.
Oh, Caicedo will just walk through our midfield if we play the way that we did today or against Palace. They just walk through it. You get me? Thank God they don't have Delap. You know, thank God Delap is injured. Maybe Delap against this team with the bullied fuck at our centre backs as well. You know, just ragdoll.
Osimhen isn't even that type of striker.
You got United coming up after the international break as well. Like,
I'm not really that's
well. Look, we're going to speak some more Liverpool in a minute, people. So stay with us, hit likes and share buttons. Winter Surfer, obviously a big and important result tonight for Chelsea.
Yeah. I wish I
your mic's all messed up, bro.
Your mic is worse than the way we played today.
Try again now. Actually, come out and come back in again. We'll come back to Chelsea in a bit. We were going to talk Chelsea. We'll come back to Chelsea in just a moment.
Oh, yeah, we don't get any sort of break, do we?
I mean, what
did you make? What did you make tonight of tonight? There's a comment here actually that's just come in actually that says, "Would the Liverpool fans on the panel say these things if they won? Would you say these things if you won on a penalty tonight?"
Yes. If we had won a penalty, we were still dog crap. I can't. That second half as well. Why the hell is Konate and Van Dijk just spraying balls over the top straight to their goalkeeper? Please, someone tell me why they were doing it.
There's no point in playing it into the midfield because none of the only midfielder that can pass beyond the lines is too busy playing alongside our fucking striker because for some reason the manager's put him there.
Tom,
why did you bring McAllister on and put McAllister as the DM?
We were literally playing it straight to the goalkeeper when we have Isak who can't even run 20 yards can't even sprint 20 yards. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
As much as we talk about, you know what? We talk about the tactics a lot. For all we know, the tactics might not be, the tactics could work in an ideal world, but fuck me, the players can't do the jobs. We need a DM that can pass the ball. Why can I not DM pass the ball?
I don't know. I think for me, just what I saw, and we'll come back to it in a minute because I want to speak to Winter Surfer, but it's you got the 10, your central midfielders are more narrow. It means it's that fullback space that's been covered for years by the Wijnaldums and the Hendersons, and last year it was covered by your midfield. It's just not there anymore. So there's space to be exploited, and it doesn't matter how good your centre backs are. You can have the best centre backs in the world when they're isolated one-on-one, especially when they're up against two players. You get done, and they're 1-2, and you're around them. It doesn't matter how good you are. Winter Surfer, big win tonight for Chelsea. Big win.
Yeah. Just funny listening to Liverpool guys thinking that we're such a good team at the moment. I thought tonight, Terry, after we scored, this game reminded me of a Floyd Mayweather fight in terms of it was like we just held them at arm's length essentially, and we controlled it without being impressive attacking wise, so to speak. So I never thought we were going to score a second goal tonight. It didn't seem like we were going to do anything, but they rallied a little bit in injury time. But it was a game that was lacking a lot of quality wise attacking from both teams, but 3 points are 3 points, and that's what matters in the group stage. So it's important we saw out the game. Another red card, so we keep our run going. So that's 3 in a row.
Can I ask you about a couple of players tonight? What did you make of Garnacho's first start in a Chelsea kit?
We had a big hand in the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean now. He stays far too touchline for me when the ball's on the other side. He doesn't actually run in. It was mentioned in the commentary that there was a shot that he had where Ali McCoy said he should be running into it more, but he just waits too long. Second half, I didn't think he really did much. He tried to dribble and it just didn't work out. There was one where he actually did a good dribble and his shot was then just, I mean, it was like an NFL goal kicker. It just went higher and higher. It just didn't stop. Yeah, he was okay. He was okay. He had a hand in the goal, which is good for him. But yeah, he was all right. There was but like I said, Caicedo just had a normal Caicedo game, so it's not. It's just what he does. I thought Enzo was all right. I thought João Pedro was a bit of an idiot because you can't do that in Europe, Terry. You just can't. You just put your foot down. It wasn't even in like the penalty area. It was in like just after the halfway line. He just didn't do anything. I thought Cucurella was okay, grew into the match. I thought Sanchez made a couple of good saves, although he did make when it was injury time, he just threw the ball out.
Right at the end, I could. But I shouted at him. I shouted at him.
Yeah, I was like, it's just what I keep saying. He just reminds you who he is. Just once every game, he just reminds you of what type of a bozo he is. But no, I thought, like I said, it was a controlled performance without being spectacular, which was probably a good thing since our past like few results. Just seeing it out. Like I said, Mourinho got his welcome and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't the best performance, but it was a calmer performance than what's been previously. So
yeah, no, I agree. I would never sit there and say Chelsea were like scintillating tonight, barnstorming. They had moments. I think one thing that would have probably turned the performance up to another level would have been this element of getting that second goal. And I think if you get those second goals, then I think you can relax a little bit more. You could see that nervousness, you could see that tension, you could see that those little issues creeping in. And that's what this last, I think, 4 to 5 games, even Lincoln to a degree, because you had to come behind and you were hanging on right at the end. There was those crosses that Jorgensen was dropping. Those things lead to those issues, and winning is a really good medicine for helping you grow as a team. As much as you might have systematic problems or structural issues within your team, as much as some players aren't always good, if you can get into a winning habit and you can win a few games comfortably, it often makes the next game a little bit easier. Look at Liverpool fans. They would have been licking their lips 10 days ago thinking about playing Chelsea. Now there's a nervousness because they've had 2 games on the bounce where they haven't been good enough, and there's this, I'm worried about it now. Winning is really, really important, but I think that's the most important thing. I think it was a big win, kind of stops the rot. You didn't concede. You go into that Chelsea game, the Liverpool game now. I'm not calling it a free hit, but there is this element of a lot of people are expecting you to lose. Go and get a good result in that, and you can kind of go into the international break somewhere inside the top 6 or 7, 1 win out of 2 in the Champions League, and there's a lot to improve on, but I just feel like tonight was so important for Chelsea.
Look at this Arsenal fan. Look, we know your ulterior motives, you little fraud. Look at you trying to act like, oh, you want Chelsea to do so much better. No, you don't. You just want Arsenal to be top of the league headed into the international break. You get me? I know you, Terry. Don't sit up here and act like you want Chelsea to do well. You don't want Chelsea to do well because of Ches and Don and all the people laughing at Man United for the last 2 years. So your ulterior motive is Arsenal being top of the league. You get me? But you cannot fool me. Fraud.
What do you mean I don't want Chelsea? What do you mean? I don't get what you mean.
You don't. Your main reason why you want Chelsea to beat Liverpool is so that Arsenal can enter the international break top of the league. Deny it. I dare you.
I've never wanted Liverpool to win a football match in my life. I can't think of one. But you're my biggest rival. That's it. It's not
okay. Wait. So if us beating a team makes Man United finish 4th in the league, would you want us to win? Be honest.
Hang on a minute. So what do you get out of it?
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, let's say we're champions.
It doesn't matter.
We're champions anyway.
Say that we finished 7th. Say that we finished 7th.
Already champions. It doesn't change anything.
Yes.
Then yes, because it would benefit my team. But for instance, if it was to make you win the league, if you lose it, you lost the league, but we made the Champions League, my next question would be, does my team actually have a capability of winning the Champions League the next year? Because if we don't, then it doesn't really. Again, I'm very particular about the way round in which I want these things to go. So, but no, I want it to leave it that way. But yeah, no, I thought it was really
get entertainment this Saturday though, because it's like
it's Saturday, not Sunday, isn't it? I thought it was Sunday. Yeah.
Saturday. Premier League. Great planning by the Premier League, by the way. Straight after
what
Arsenal, West Ham
entertainment?
as well.
What entertainment? The only
Oh,
entertainment
I'll tell you what
would be-
entertainment. When shit faces shit, it becomes a great game.
No,
That's
no,
what
really? Nobody doesn't know Hussam, because you know what it'll be? It'll be us looking at their centre-back partnership, which is completely obliterated, and giving our striker one chance. One half chance, and then sitting there going, fucking hell. Why didn't we give him more chances?
I
And
can't
it'll be
even
Chelsea.
deny that. I can't even deny
it'll be
that.
Chelsea
Remember
coming
the
down
Europa
the
League
wings,
final
put them
last
across it, and
season?
we'll clear them.
Do you remember the Europa League final last season? That was shit versus shit, and it wasn't very nice to watch, bro.
Oh,
Trust
no,
me, it was nice to watch
It's not
for
that
us.
bad. It's not that bad as shit, man. It's not that bad.
It's still shit.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's still shit.
Different.
It still stinks with the surf. I don't care.
That final was shit underneath shit. That was what it was.
Oh my god! So it's still stinky, bro. It still
That's true,
stinks.
but there's
But
different
no,
levels.
we're not
You gotta
doing
respect
this.
Shit. You know what I mean? It's all-
Mm.
The game on Saturday will just be both teams making mistakes at the back, and then the other team not punishing them. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, so it's just shit to watch. It's not entertaining.
All Chelsea needs to do to cause us problems is with their press, just leave Konate unmarked. Make Konate play a pass. Or even better, if you want something even better, if we ever get a corner, leave Konate unmarked. He's the most useless defender I've ever seen at scoring corners. He can be 3 yards out and they're over the bar. I would rather, genuinely,
Our delivery into the box doesn't help either. Like it seems like Soboslai's the main person putting crosses into the box, but it's just shocking, man.
It doesn't matter if it's Soboslai or
Soboslai
Gakpo. He's had everyone's put a
for
cross on his head this season, and he's put them all over the bar. I would genuinely rather Joe Gomez have a free header than Konate. Joe Gomez has never scored. Joe Gomez has never scored a professional goal. I'd rather Joe Gomez have a free header.
Is this how bad we sunk
over the bar?
Tom, is this how bad you sunk to? We're begging Joe Gomez to head a ball when he hasn't scored He hasn't scored in a professional football match in his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know.
Ram, I don't like to agree with Tom, but if you give me the chance right now to start Gomez or Konate, wallah, I'm starting Gomez. Wallah.
That's not the question.
Konate can't touch pitch. Gomez can pass. Gomez can pass. Gomez can play a 5-yard pass without
Hussam, I would drag Gio Leone from the hospital back onto this football pitch. That's how desperate I am, bro.
Did you see that news midweek about that magic bone glue they've got in China now? Can you do that for ACL ligaments? Can we get that done on Leone's ACL ligaments so we can have him back after this international break? Because Christ,
This is mad.
you can see as well. You can see as well.
Winner surf, I can't believe we're so stressed about
built a system.
playing Chelsea.
We built
Seems
a
like you
system.
guys have no idea.
We built a system. We built a system that
against
so
Benfica,
needed
strode against Lincoln.
Mark Gahey's ball playing ability. We built a system which the midfielders aren't good enough progressive passers, so the centre backs need to be. That's what Mark Gahey is. We built the perfect system for Mark Gahey, and they just didn't try and buy him until later on in the window, and so then go,
I'm going to jump to a few super chats here. First one here says, "Don't worry, Liverpool fans, you're rubbish, but you're not Manchester United rubbish."
That's what makes it worse.
See, Ram?
I at least have expectations in these games.
See, Ram? See?
If you expect something,
Another one of my fanboys here. He says, "You're still plastic, Terry. Go support Tottenham." Well, Tottenham wouldn't be my local team. I'm from East London. They're from North
technically
London.
Leighton Orient.
Leighton Orient would be, but
Spider-Man wouldn't send such.
my
horrible
answer, I already
messages,
said it to you, Spider-Man. I will switch
Yeah.
teams and I will do it publicly if you come and reveal your face and real name on camera. Let's just do a
terrible.
deal.
Would you
Oh my
support
God.
Liverpool?
Oh,
Terry,
hold
would
on,
you support Liverpool?
sorry. You wouldn't believe what just come out a minute ago. According to L'Equipe, Liverpool are confident of agreeing a new contract with Konate.
Oh wow! But by the way, I know he's been bad, right? But maybe this poor form is this limbo that he's in. Maybe it's because he just wants to get it resolved, and there might be an improvement in him after that.
I can hope so.
Matty here says, I don't know what slot system is. We look vulnerable when we lose the ball in the final third. Midfield non-existent to say not non-existent.
Too easy to
get
get
the ball behind. The thing is, Matty, I don't think it's. Everyone says this a lot now. I don't know what our system is. I feel like we're starting to overuse that phrase. Like there's a handful of systems that have names or parts of systems, like Gergen pressing. That wasn't the system. It was part of it. And then the word tiki-taka was used, and there's total football. Honest question, and there's parking the bus. How many other systems have a name that we all go, that's what it is?
No, they're all like different. Like they're like, it's like, you know, Pep Guardiola plus 2-3 different spices. You know, it's like just different.
No,
you know how like when you go to a restaurant and they got like chicken wings, but it's like lemon and herb, Korean style, honey. It's all chicken wings, but it's different, like different spices. What's our system? This is our system right now.
Lemon and herb.
This is our system. I'll describe. Let me help Matty out. Thanks for the donation, Matty. Let me help you. The system. What's the Liverpool system? The left back and the right back with the centre backs all molest the ball with each other. They just keep the ball 5 hours.
And one of the DMs.
And then one of the DMs. And then we do long ball to someone. And then when we do the long ball, we lose the ball. And then we restart.
Isn't really crap
low
Stoke
block
City.
just a fancy term for parking the bus anyway? It's just a new age.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring it up is this. I understand what people... I don't understand what a style of play is. Well, I don't know how to... Sometimes I go, what is the style of play? Explain it. And it's sort of like... Sometimes I feel like it's like, well, what do you mean? We can see what you're trying to do. You're using your fullbacks for width. You're using a number 10 that's going to try and create. Your inside forwards cut inside. But now what you're doing is you're vacating the space. Now you're overcommitting in those areas. The problem is when you're losing possession, that space is now being exploited. Every system has flaws in it. Every system has... This is the thing about every system. They all have holes in them. They all have problems in them. And it's about adjusting little bits here, little bits there. It's a little bit like you mentioned Mayweather earlier. Mayweather went into fights. First 2 or 3 rounds, he was often not the better of the two fighters. And he was working out what the opponent was doing. And then his fight, Lomachenko, very, very similar, but not the same level. They'd work their fighters out and they would kind of adapt. And there's this sort of element of you have a system and there's things that get exploited and then you have to make changes to it. And the better managers make those changes quicker. The crazy bit about like Amorim's system is the system you probably find, again, if you're trained as a coach, there's a couple of subtle things you could probably do, move a couple of players around, and you would see an improvement. Some just choose not to do it. This is where it could go wrong for Slot, is if he just says, we're sticking to this every game, we're not changing it. That's when you might have a problem if that space still gets hurt. But Ram, what are you saying, bro?
I think our issue is definitely partially systemic. But it's also to do with the attitude and the mentality with which we're playing. Yes, we've obviously scored late goals, and that's been to our benefit for sure. But last season, what really worked for us is we got the balance right between being aggressive when we needed to be and being a bit more passive and a bit more conservative when we needed to be. Like, it wasn't the swashbuckling stuff we used to see from Klopp. 90 minutes, 38 games a season. The problem is that right now we don't have the intensity and we're not taking up the positions to be able to sit back and control games. So we're getting caught somewhere between these two tactics, but we're not actually working either of those out. And I was a little bit critical maybe it was a little bit of a hangover from Klopp. There were times last season where I felt like Slot wasn't aggressive enough and he was a little bit too I don't want to say passive, but a little bit too conservative. But now it feels like we're not even doing that well. And I think part of it is down to new players coming in. I think part of it is down to, as HUsam and Tom said, that I don't think any player today, especially, cover themselves in glory. They have got talent, and I said this the other day when people were talking about winning the transfer window. We can win the transfer window. That's fine. But ultimately, if the players don't do it on the pitch, it doesn't mean anything because trophies aren't won on the transfer market. Trophies are won on the pitch. And right now, we look a bit off it.
A bit.
I'm still confident. I'm confident going into every game, but there are question marks. I think any Liverpool fan right now will be a little bit worried because.
A little bit.
Just because. Yes, we're top of the league, but there's a possibility we could drop points in any given game potentially. And
Be every
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Love it.
What are you doing backing vocals, Tom?
It's a probability at this point.
It's like you're harmonizing. It's like in every game. In every game, we could drop points.
Can I say what I think we should drop? I think we should drop Szoboszlai for Chelsea.
What?
I listen. McAllister has been shit this season, and I've admitted this. Like I'm a McAllister fan, you guys all know. But I think with the way Chelsea play, it's way better to have a better passer in there. So and I don't want Szoboszlai to play right back or left.
Jones.
So
Play Jones then.
No, I don't mind. We can play Jones as well. So like I'm saying, Gravenberch and one of Jones or McAllister. Like that's what I think we need a little bit as well.
The problem is we then sit there and my God, we don't have any legs in midfield.
we have no legs. Up against Pedro and Neto and players like that, bro. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be long. I don't know what we're gonna do. I honestly can't think of anything because we're just.
You know what is a real concern as well? The fact that we spent 30 million quid on a right back and the manager didn't trust him to play right back. He's going to play on the right back.
The advantage with the Chelsea game is I don't think Chelsea can park the bus. I think if they try and do that, it's going to become very difficult because I don't trust their defence.
Chelsea can't.
And if they come out,
we've seen that. Yeah, you're right.
And if they come out and play, then that will give us openings and that will give us opportunities. We just need to get enough of them to be able to get a goal or two.
But that's the problem, isn't it? I'd be a millionaire if I just had a million quid.
I'm going to Kojo in a second. I've got to do a few more of these super chats here. Sorry. Konate is Herb. Wirtz is Lemon. HUsam is the chef. Nothing wrong. Listen, I don't do Herb and Lemon. That's Tom. I don't do. Actually, no, Tom don't. Tom does plain. He does nothing. He asked them to cook it on a different grill in case something spits on it. It's one of them ones. VVD. Van Dijk hides and doesn't get his feet dirty, unlike Konate.
Huh?
I don't know about that.
That's simply not true, though. Van Dijk.
Even Kojo disagrees with you, right?
Jerome here says Spurs were absolutely awful today. Those Spurs fans that told me that the football would be much, much better under Frank because he's an actual coach. Where is the good football? If you've had some good
does
football,
he want the Ange football back?
Look, you weren't very good tonight. No, you weren't very good tonight at all. That's absolutely fair. But you've had some good performances this season. I still think. So one thing I'd say about Spurs, maybe not as bad as Man United's situation. You have improved. You can see you've improved, I think, as a team overall this season. But the squad still needs investment and improving as well. And I think that's really, really key. But you are fourth in the league. I know you're only 6 games in, but it's not been a bad start. You were what were you like? And again, you didn't lose again. And this is the one thing I said earlier on this season, got called out profusely for it, that Tottenham would become a much harder team to beat under Thomas Frank. And even in game, barring it's only 1 defeat this season so far, right? In 8 games. I mean, because for a team that lost 22 league games last year, I don't think it's that bad. But maybe I've got such low standards because I support relegation teams. So Anthony Taylor is going to be the ref for the Chelsea-Liverpool game. I expect 2 red cards for Chelsea. And has any team ever had 4 on a bounce? Ever? Like, I mean, that's got to be worth a little wager. Isn't it? Like 4 on a bounce.
I think we.
Where's Bet Victor when you want them?
Get your money out, Betty. Come on, get it out, Victor.
I think we're first to have 3 in a row.
First to have 3 in a row? Could be.
So, yeah.
I need chokes on a grape then. Could do. That would have made my fanboys happy. How does Konate go from being better than William Saliba to being worse than Harry Maguire? Tom, please explain this to me like I'm a 3-year-old.
Right, okay. Konate not good at passing football. Teams realise that. Teams let Konate pass football so they can have it back. Konate then panic and rash and shit, and Liverpool look worse. There you go.
3-year-old Tom, man, 3-year-old.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't have crayons on me to draw the diagram for him.
This here says, swear down, the same group was saying Konate was better than William Saliba months ago. Listen, I wouldn't have said he was better than William Saliba, but he was playing at a much higher level. I said in the summer that I think Gahey's as good, if not better. I got laughed at. Now, everyone, this is the thing. Football, with end of the day, Liverpool fans he was very good when they were saying that. Right now, he's been awful, and I think Liverpool fans are right to say that he shouldn't be on the pitch. Since the game week 2, Szoboszlai right back has been reminding me of Arteta's kink with Partey at right back. Partey right back worked against Liverpool because of Diaz, and Szoboszlai right back worked against Arsenal because of Martinelli. Posty says so many players occupying the same positions. It's fair. Would Liverpool fans on the panel say these things? I'll say we've done that one. It's not Wirtz. Wasn't this the same HUsam who called Palmer shit for time because of no goals, even though he was topping the charts for chances created?
Cole Palmer is not a new signing. He doesn't need to get used to the country or the language or the cities or the Premier League. He already had a season at Manchester City, coached by Pep Guardiola. And Cole Palmer has one open play goal in the last 10 months.
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I like about Wirtz starting slowly? Because Sam, and rightfully so, sorry, I'm picking grapes. As you do. What I love is that Sam, because he doesn't want anyone to go in on Wirtz, and he's a very honourable man, is Sam, and he doesn't want to go in on Wirtz. He's having to hold back from going in on other players that have started badly. I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. It's
no,
great.
I don't have to hold back on anyone. I just don't think someone specific is to blame. I think it's systematic. I fully believe that.
I get that. Konate's Liverpool's best defender. HUsam just mad. I don't get that.
Huh?
Sam, did you say that?
No, he's saying that. I don't think Konate is our best
On
defender
what
at all.
evidence is that, though?
That's
It might
crazy.
be. We might be hearing slot out. Imagine we have to play that slot out tape again soon. And Sam's like, "I was a visionary. I knew it would happen." Glock here says maybe slot only won because it was someone else's squad. His trophies don't count. That's what we say about other teams, right, Tom? Right, HUsam?
You do this every single time I'm on a show. You've got this weird obsession with thinking I said Arteta's FA Cup doesn't count because it was Unai Emery's team, even though I've never once said that because Mikel Arteta managed every single game in that FA Cup run. So why would I say it wasn't his FA Cup? I don't know why you're taking it out on something out on me that I've never said.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Also, what's his name? Arnie Slot bought Chiesa, so was a squad.
Commiserations, Liverpool. Hope Wirtz doesn't become what Anthony was to Erik ten Hag, the disaster of Istanbul 2005. He is for the tears. Remember what Wirtz is only 21 years of age. This is true. Liverpool finally hitting a slump. May God protect that defense, because Lord knows what would happen with a single injury. Listen, I will say this: the fact you guys aren't looking formidable just yet, I can't say I won't lie, I'm very happy about it, because not even about it being Liverpool. I just mean someone who covers football. I want it to be open. I want nothing to feel like a foregone conclusion, because I think it keeps fans more engaged. It makes the conversations better. If it was just Liverpool winning every game and unbeatable, you'd get to about December and everyone would go, "That's done. See you in the summer." And as a football fan who covers it for a living, I sort of don't want that, if I'm being honest.
Look at the ups and downs. Look at the ups and downs in the last week, right? You had, after the Arsenal City game, Arsenal fans, there was civil war in the Arsenal fan base. They were ripping each other apart, talking about how criticising Mikel Arteta, criticising the players, and then a week later, everything's changed. Now Igal's out here like celebrating, posting, tweeting, retweeting, talking about all kinds of things. So that's just the nature of football. Like, you can, 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down, and the main thing is that I don't think Liverpool are going to get much worse. I think we because we've bought quality, we will get better. The question is,
that's why Rak is a
better.
millionaire and the rest of us aren't, because of this mindset.
I don't know how much more. I don't know how much worse I could handle it. I don't know how it gets worse than this. We're not doing anything good at the minute.
Rax, you want to know the problem? We played better with the shit footballers that we had compared to now. Like, that's imagine how the fuck are you not creating a single crystal clear chance with Wirtz, Isak, Salah on the pitch?
I'm just going to throw this saying out. I don't know how many times I put this out on the Football Terrace. Sir Alf Ramsey, we all know who he is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. I'm glad we know Sir Alf. He was England's manager who won the World Cup. And he said this: you should never pick your best players, you should pick your best team. And I think this is every now and then you get a team. You sort of look at PSG at the moment, the way they play under Luis Enrique. Their best players make their best team. That's not always the case. There's a handful of football teams in our lifetimes that have been like that, where the best players make the best team. Most sides, when we're honest, there's like a functional player in there that you wouldn't look at as on the same par with everybody else, or there's a functional guy here or someone that's a bit of a workhorse, especially in the modern day game with legs. I keep saying to United fans, listen, I understand why you want, and I think we need Amorim to go. Oh, let's get Grasner. Cool, good choice. You think he's making our team work and play like Palace? Have you seen how much bigger, stronger, faster they are than us? We're not going to be able to replicate that. End of the day, if Tom and Kojo go to the gym, it doesn't matter if I'm the personal trainer for both. Tom ain't lifting what Kojo does. Like, the difference is in body structure. And I just sometimes think football fans get a little bit, you've got to look at what you've got and then what works for you, what makes a system actually tick. And it isn't always the best technical footballer that can make a system work. That doesn't mean, though, you shouldn't seek good technical footballers, because that'll get clipped up now by a fanboy. And Terry likes ugly footballers. No, I'm just saying that sometimes you need a Jordan Henderson more than you need a Wirtz playing in the 8. Like, sometimes you do.
Of course.
But yeah,
that's why the Football Terrace needs Tom Little.
Functional. Kojo, thanks for joining us, brother. I really appreciate you being here. What are you here to say, my friend?
Yeah, quickly. Oh man, I think I just watched the Chelsea game, but I remember I said to you earlier in the season that the one thing I was scared of for Chelsea is our mentality, and the fact we got three red cards in 3 games is telling me a little bit about that mentality. It's young, it's youthful, it's brash, it's stupid at points. I tipped us to win though. I can't lie to you. I tipped us to win the league, and I'm looking like a fool at the end of the season at this point if they don't get their attitude together. I'm gonna you're gonna clip me up and put me on there. But watching the game, I actually appreciated Chelsea playing today. I know some fans didn't like it. I loved it. Let me tell you why. Because that ball was zipping around in that first half at least. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing us hogging the ball at the back and just passing it between ourselves and rotations and it not going nowhere. But at least in this first half, people were trying. Now, they might have lost the ball a few times, but there were nice, short, sharp passes, trying to break the lines. I don't like seeing Tyreek George in striking position. I really don't. But hey, I understand some people, sometimes managers are trying to do protests and they won't tell you they're protesting, but they're protesting by putting a player who does not need to be in striking position as a striker. So for me, I was happy about seeing that kind of football being played. I have a feeling I'm kind of scared of playing Liverpool on Saturday. And is it Saturday we're playing you guys?
Kojo, you should have been here 45 minutes ago, my friend. You wouldn't have heard it. Listen to this, lot, I tell you.
We're both terrified of playing each other because we're both worried about our own teams.
It could be a high-scoring game. That's what I'm saying to you. It could be a high-scoring game because our defense is absolutely making.
Yeah, but again, Kojo, the problem there is to be high-scoring, you need to be creating chances. You could very well have 0 centre-backs. We'd give Isak the ball twice.
I think that the problem is obviously we're going to play at the back. Someone's going to pass the ball, someone to the wrong person. It's going to go to one of your players. Bang, goal. And I also see that, the way your defense is playing a little bit.
It's going to happen to us as well. Yeah. Don't beat around the bush. It's going to happen. We are going to give the ball to you.
I can name you the player. I can name you exactly what will happen. We'll be doing.
Wait. What's going on?
Van Dijk will pass.
What happened to Liverpool fans? I'm so confused. What happened to you guys? Tom, I was with you at preseason, bro. I was with you at preseason talking about how dodgy your defense was, and you told me categorically, that ain't the truth. So what happened?
Canate got given the job to pass the ball, and everything's fell apart since.
I
tell you what, though, this season, though, I remember I said about mid-table teams are going to be
funny Kojo really saying this as well. Brother, you got 8 points from 18, bro. You played like all the easy sides. Put the fries in the bag, please.
All the fries in the bag. I said we were going to win the league, and I'm telling you now, it's not happening. But I'm still going to back.
No way, really? It's not happening.
I'm going to back him to win. I'm crazy enough to say it. You can clip it up. You can put it on the net. I still think we can win this game. I think we still win this league. I think something crazy can happen. I tell you what, the amount of injuries that are happening right now, it's going to change a lot of the games that are going to come up. So I'm interested to see what happens in the winter period.
You have no centre backs.
Yeah, we don't need it, mate. We don't need it at this point. You know what I mean? We've got Sanchez at the defence.
We're going to first team in Premier League history to win it without centre backs.
Absolutely.
We don't have centre backs when they're all fit. Let alone now when they're not.
Yeah, this is true.
I wouldn't do that to them. Tossen's a good defender.
There's just probably one team. By the way, football changes so quickly because the Arsenal fans will be sitting there now like, yeah, I'm feeling really confident. But 3 or 4 results can go by. And then it was only this time last week, I'm sitting there saying to Gooners, why are you all writing a season off? It's so early. A week later, the world changes. And I think people have got to, again, we all get things right. We all get things wrong. That's the nature of the beast. But I'm not writing Liverpool off just yet. I also don't even think the way the last couple of games have gone, I don't think that's been the same issues all season. Said it about United against Brentford. As awful as we were, anyone who lies and went, well, that's how bad we were against Arsenal is a liar. We weren't. The two performances are very, very different. Liverpool have had games this season, first half especially, for instance, against Everton as an example, far better than this. I thought you were much better than this against Atletico Madrid. And they scored a couple of goals that one shouldn't have stood, the other was a big deflection. Outside of that, you were far more comfortable. So I won't have it be said, not on my platform anyway, you can go do it on some trash platforms, that Liverpool have been as bad as they were today in every game this season, because that's just ridiculous talk. So that's why I wouldn't expect to see Liverpool fans sort of throw baby out with the bathwater. Same as what I said to Jerome earlier. Spurs were bad tonight. But I feel like we're sort of in this world now in the social media environment where I say Spurs will be a harder team to beat this season. Someone goes, no, you're wrong. They do well for 3, 4, 5 games. They have a slip up and someone goes, see, told you you were wrong. And then 4, 5, 6, 7 games, they do well again. They have a slip up, told you you were wrong. So, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? We do it with footballers, and I know Wirtz hasn't got rolling yet, but we do it with players all the time. Like Gyökeres first game doesn't score. I knew it'd be a flop. Scores a brace. Okay. Next week doesn't score. I fucking knew he wouldn't score. Next week scores. Shut up. It's weird. We're just getting to this point where all these conclusions are being made after 1 or 2. And sometimes you're right. Sometimes we make a conclusion and it ends up being that we make a statement and it ends up being kind of correct. But even if you're right in the end, it isn't so much proven after like one moment where you seem to be right. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I spoke to quite a few YouTubers this week that are just like, I'm getting so bored that everything's become every show, not specific about the terrace, but I feel it here too. Every show has become about trying to prove points for things that have been said just the week before. And it's rather than, you see what I said last week about X, what happened today is exactly what I'm more concerned about. And we've got to fix it and do this. It's not that. It's very much, see, I told you I was right, guys. Now all bow down, get on your knees, bow down and tell me how good my football knowledge is. And I just think it's becoming a little bit boring. You know, like Kojo's come on and admitted about the Chelsea thing, didn't even bring up. I know he did later, but because it was topical, that everything going on with Liverpool's defense is what he predicted earlier on in the summer. And that's fair. Like, there we go. Tom, are you in transition in the Champions League as well?
Yes, Straggle, surprisingly, being in transition doesn't just apply to one competition.
Yeah, you just... Well, some teams have weird years, don't they? Like Spurs last year, their European campaign compared to their league campaign, it was almost like two different teams.
We played the
and
same
Man United to a large degree. Like you wouldn't have even known they were the same team. So which is it? Fraud? Was Wirtz playing shit like Parma, but in a new, but is new to the league, Bundesliga, Potts? 2 times, by the way, player of the season. Sorry, yes, I'm being dumb. Or did he play okay, but it's on the system?
Today he played okay, but it's on the system.
There we go. Fucking hilarious how many accuse Wirtz was a better player than Palmer without watching the guy. Palmer is a top 10 footballer on the planet. So special.
Says who?
Just ask you all a quick question. What's the worst take? Wirtz is better than Palmer or Garnacho is better than Yamal?
I didn't say any of this. I said Garnacho is better than...
Yeah, I know you didn't. Jill did.
Did this guy say it?
Yeah. He said Garnacho has more goals in the under 21 than Lamine Yamal. When Lamine Yamal was 15.
I can't defend that. I can't defend
there
that.
you go. Big up.
But Terry did say Garnacho is better than Rafael.
Yeah, but Terry don't rate
That's
Rafael.
crazy work still. That's crazy work still.
Yeah.
He's got to prove himself. I like Garnacho though. He's got to prove himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him at that level. But I thought he looked good today. I thought he looked all right.
I think he looked good again today too.
Yeah, I thought he looked all right. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in Really appreciate all the support, all the super chats, all the challenge as well. Very, very welcome as always. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel, so get yourselves across there. Tomorrow morning, a new episode of Killing the Game is back, plus Straight Facts in the afternoon with HUsam and Footy Judge Mo. So make sure you're all tuning in for that. Plus, I'm on the United Stand tomorrow night at 7 p.m. talking all about sacking Ruben Amorim. It's going to be an interesting one to tune in there. Plus, Champions League reaction.
You're already there.
Action packed. Sorry, mate.
You're already at the second of Amorim.
I'm not an Amorim outer. I can't be in the same group as those people. The way I view Amorim out is, you know, like you'll listen to Katie Hopkins sometimes, or Piers Morgan, or there'll be a political party that you don't. Party that you don't agree with, but every now and then they'll come out of a policy where you're like, shit, I agree with that, but I can't tell anyone I do. I'm a bit like that with the Amorim outers. I think they're right. He's got to go, but I don't believe with their their overarching ideology. I can't get on board with it because there's too much. There's too much ignoring other problems to me, and I'm like, I can't side with you guys because I don't want to be associated. Same, by the way, the Amorim inners. Those bunch of toxic pricks, like they are mental. Like I'm firmly in the middle. He's probably got to go, but I'm not being. And I hope I'm wrong about this. I'm just not being gaslit. I'm just not being gaslit into this idea that we're suddenly going to become an exponentially better team very, very quickly. Because this is give you an example. I was getting called out for days. Stop giving Amorim excuses. Or what did I do? Stop saying it's on the squad. I didn't say it's all on the squad. I said some of it's on the squad. But you keep saying the squad's average. I do think it's average. No, it isn't. I said, okay, how high would we finish if a manager comes in that you pick and he gets us to perform to our optimum level? Where would we finish this average? The squad I think is average. He went, about 8th. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, see, this is the point. They're so attached to their ideology of we must sack the manager. He is 80, 90. I spoke to a United fan today, really good guy to be fair, because we actually can have a conversation, who thinks 100% the reason we are where we are is on Amorim. And there's other guys that don't want him sacked. They think we've got to break this 13-year cycle. And I'm looking at both thinking, you're both wrong. Doesn't matter if you're right about elements. Your overarching view on how to get United back is wrong. Therefore, I can't side with either of you, because for me, people forget we haven't won back-to-back games in the Prem under Ruben Amorim in the last, everyone knows that, 9 months, 10 months. It's terrible.
Ever.
You also know that the 9 months prior to him arriving, we didn't win 2 on the bounce. Mm-hmm. So this idea that we've just got this bad since he came in isn't true. What he hasn't done is improve us at all, and he should be criticized for it. But people are forgetting the win percentage of Ten Hag from the last time we won back-to-back games in February until when he got sacked was only marginally higher than this guy. And at the beginning of last season, it was exactly the same. So this is why when someone goes, we go 4-2-3-1, we'll be absolutely fixed. We might get better with a better coach, but I'm just not going to sit there to my audience. And I hope I'm wrong, by the way, and spout this and go, yeah, this is the way. I just don't believe it. I hope it happens. By the way, I hope I'm so wrong. Xavi comes in. We'll win 10 on the bounce. We're in the title race. And everyone's going, Terry, you were wrong. And I'm sitting there going, I don't care because we're great. Because all I care about is my team winning. I don't care about being right about that. I just can't side with those parties. But I do think it's time for him to go. So, yeah, I just can't. I'm just not an Amorim outer. I want to be very clear about that. Or an Amorim inner. Because I find both groups are quite vile, actually. Why does people often judge a team's performance by players and tactics only? Fitness matters too. The coach must balance minutes and time for full form. You could risk them not playing due to injury. It's a fair challenge. It's a fair challenge. And Liverpool did rotate today with certain players, and you have to think about that ahead of the weekend. I felt Chelsea rotated as well, like João Pedro not starting and others. And that's the...
Oh, that was a league... That front line was a League Cup team.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw it, and I thought, that's a bit of a risk. But that's why I think you should be proud of your win tonight. Great super chat, my friend. Thank you. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.